Good evening and welcome to the San Bruno City Council meeting of November 26, 2013. I'd like to thank the San Bruno Garden Club for the floral arrangement they always provide for our meetings. Thank you very much. A roll call, please.
Vice Mayor O'Connell.
Here.
Mayor Duane.
Here.
Councilmember Medina.
Here.
Councilmember Aguirre.
Here.
And Councilmember Salazar is excused with notice. Carol, lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have a few announcements this evening. First of all, there will not be a City Council meeting on December 24th, the fourth Tuesday in December. The only regular City Council meeting in December will be held on December 10th, 2013. There will be a special meeting for the purpose of installing newly elected city officials on Tuesday, December 3rd, 2013 at 7:30 p.m. right here at the San Bruno Senior Center. And one announcement that is not in your agenda is our very own City Clerk, Carol Bonner, has been appointed by the President of the League of California Cities to serve a one-year term on the Employee Relations Policy Committee. Carol, congratulations.
Thank you.
Whatever that is. Presentations this evening, there aren't any. Review of the agenda. Everything okay? Approval of the minutes of the special closed session City Council meeting on November 12, 2013 and regular City Council meeting of November 12, 2013. The errors, corrections, omissions? Seeing none, they'll be approved as submitted. Consent calendar, all items are considered routine or implemented earlier council action and may be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion unless requested by a council member, citizen, or staff. Anyone like to bring up anything under consent calendar?
Through the chair.
Irene?
May I have 7E, please?
Okay, we're going to pull 7E. Any action on the remainder?
Pull 7D, please.
7D, all right. Anything else?
Move to accept the rest.
Second.
Motion and second on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item 7D, adopt a resolution authorizing temporary closure of 1900 block of Glen Avenue for the annual Santa arrival on Sunday, December 8th, 2013 from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Mr. Mayor, why don't we get in the holiday spirit, and why don't you explain what's going on, why we're closing Glen Avenue?
We closed Glen Avenue because I've heard that Santa comes on the fire truck to celebrate that evening with all the kids. And all the neighbors for many, many years have lighted up their homes in a beautiful festive holiday fair. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't get publicized enough now because it's one of the last neighborhoods. There is a nice neighborhood in South San Francisco that neighbors participate, but the Glen Avenue residents every year for as long as I've been in San Bruno have decorated their homes together with maybe a few abstentions, but for the most part, every neighbor on the hill decorates their home, and residents from all over and some non-residents come to view it. And on December 8th, and every year at approximately the same time, Santa comes and orders the residents to turn their lights on, and that's the start of, at least the holiday season on that block. So we invite everyone to come. Some residents, particularly one, really greet you at the top of that steep hill. So anyway,
very good.
thank you. Move to accept.
Okay.
Second.
Motion second to accept item 7D. All in favor?
Aye.
While we're on it, too, I just want to mention also that December the 5th, next Thursday, we're going to have our tree lighting right here in front of the San Bruno Recreation Center at 5:30, and we have some very special surprises this year, so make sure you attend. Item 7E, accept the resignation letter from community preparedness member, declare a committee member vacancy, and direct the city clerk to initiate the process for appointment of a new member. Irene?
Thank you. I had this pulled to have Carol advertise the position and to thank the volunteer Stephen Johnson for his service to this community. So Carol?
You know, I was thinking maybe we could think outside the box. I've done advertising in Focus. I've done advertising in the newspaper. We've done word of mouth through our members that are members. And we just, day before yesterday, received another resignation from a citizens crime prevention person. So I'm wondering if we should maybe put a flyer into our water bill and see if we can touch everybody that way. I love suggestions. I don't know what more we can do to get people to come out and participate.
Why does the city clerk get a Facebook page?
The city clerk was told she should never do that.
I will promote it on Facebook.
I think that's a good idea, Carol. And you know, we had 82 applicants for our not-for-profit.
I know.
82 very qualified people. And to serve on some of these boards, commissions, and committees is a lot less time-consuming than the not-for-profit.
Right.
So we want to see some of those people get more active in the city, too. Very good.
Okay.
Do that.
Thank you, Carol. Move to approve?
Motion second to approve 7E. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 8, public hearings. We don't have any public hearings this evening. Item number 9, public comment on items not on the agenda. Is the council policy to refer matters raised in this forum to staff for investigation and interaction where appropriate. The Brown Act prohibits the council from discussing or acting upon any matter not agendized pursuant to state law. Anyone like to address the council under public comment? All right. We're going to move right on to conduct of business. Item 10A, adopt a resolution authorizing the purchase of a Mainstar Inc. computer maintenance management system software in the amount of $45,000. Laura?
Honorable Mayor, council members, good evening. The city provides water, sewer, stormwater, and transportation services to our residents. To be able to provide those services, the city relies on a very comprehensive system. The estimated value of that system is more than $500 billion, around $600 million. To be able to increase the efficiency, maintaining that system, to perform at the expected level, and also to minimize cost in the long term, the city is using many tools and management tools. One of those tools is the computerized maintenance management system, which is an electronic tool to help us manage those complicated, complex systems. Last month in October, I provided you with a comprehensive presentation on the benefit, history of implementation, and overall cost of implementing the CMMS system in the city. At that time was emphasized the main benefit obtained by the implementation of the system, such as eliminating the need for paper and pencil manual record keeping. You see in most of the offices, including medical office, if you go, that they are not any longer using paper folders or files. They are using centralized electronic information system. This CMMS system provides actually the same level of centralized system information for us on our system. Also, proactively programs preventive maintenance activities for those systems, generate work orders, like when the sewer lines need to be cleaned, or also will generate work orders for water, like when water needs to turn on or off. also in the same time meets regulatory requirements and compliance with those requirements. It is in line with industry standard and trends and best management practices. Right now, it is how I informed you a month ago. Right now, this CMMS system is fully implemented in sewer and included in our budget for this year, and it's our intent to extend the implementation of the system in water to manage our water system. In 2012, Mainstar went to a web-based operating system, which really means that for that point on, the update will be implemented. All of our employees can access the system and the information from on-site using laptops. Exactly how you see many all over in the industry, like when somebody comes to replace your water heater, they are basically able to update the work order and to seek information through their laptop on site. That basically will create the same kind of flexibility and opportunity for our employee. Or another example would be if they are managing or they are responding to a SSO, then in the field they would be able to use their laptop and to see where is the closest discharge for our storm system, and to be able to better capture the sewer overflow before that will reach any creek or water. The cost of this web-based update is $45,000. This is a one-time investment of the upgrade. And after the implementation of the update, will be a ongoing yearly cost around $36,000, $18,000 for sewer, $18,000 for water. That cost will be on ongoing basis. In addition to those certain yearly costs, any replacement of those laptops or any additional training or any future upgrade of the system, which none of us are aware of today, those will be ongoing additional costs as to relates to the implementation to this update. I have here Dennis Bush with me, who enjoyed the benefit of full implementation of the system in sewer already, and also Mark Remhard, who is anxious to implement the system in water, and Eric Jackson, who is helping us with the ongoing management of the system. My recommendation for you to approve the purchase of the upgrade of web-based CMMS system. I am available for any question.
Any questions for staff? Ken?
It's good we have IT here, because my question is Mainstar the best available system, for this app, for your use?
This question was asked in the beginning when the city, in 2007, when CMMS Mainstar system was purchased. The city went through a pretty lengthy selection process, and at that time, the choice was to go with this system, which meet the expectation and of the city. A few years ago was that question asked again. This is still the best system for us, and discussing with IT, checking with other agencies around us, our answer was still that the system working very well for sewer, meets our need, provides the information needed for us, and no reason for us to change at this time. That was
Because, I mean, that
our
leads me
recommendation.
to saying that this is more than $45,000. This is an investment, this is an ongoing licensing and things, and who knows, 5 years from now, they come out with something more improved, of which we're in deep, and, we have no choice but to,
Yes.
To upgrade again.
Yes.
Yeah, so if we're comfortable with that, that's part of the recommendation.
Yes, was discussed among staff many times, and is fully implemented in sewer, meets our need, is our intent. If you are supporting to extend then this system to water this year, and then storm is the next, and also street. Our fleet already has a specialized software system, and it's not our intent to extend this specific software for fleet.
Thank you.
Rico?
This is one of the systems I've had questions on in the last couple of years. And I know, as it was told, it'd still be coming back in January for further detail and review and examination. I'm feeling this should be waiting until that time. I know, as we hear, Mark's anxious, and this would extend the program, but being anxious is great, and I appreciate your enthusiasm, but also accountability and making sure that this is the effect and the turn on the investment and the ongoing license and the other things that we're going to extend to. I think NEAT deserves more look. The January, as I think, is a much better time to have this reviewed than start here and then continue it again and then bring it back up to January. So I'm not in favor at this time with what I know.
Anything else?
Can,
Okay.
can I ask my colleague to elaborate a little more on why he would like to hold off till January for this?
Through the chair. My understanding is that, as was brought up at the last time when we talked about the CIP budget, we would be taking on maybe 10, we'll say, projects, bringing in the backup. My understanding from the city manager is, in January, maybe to begin some of this process, looking at the system as a whole. We have been piecemealing it. We know that it took almost 4 years to get it up to where we have it efficiently, apparently running in one division. And so I want to make sure, as we're going forward and extending this, that truly we're getting what we deserve. The costs are out front, because I can go back when I sat up here and brought up all these other costs that were not actually present and before us, that happened on the maintenance and the licensing and those things, but they weren't there at that point. So I want to be confident and comfortable when we're spending ratepayers' monies in these enterprise funds, that we're doing the smart thing, the wise thing, and taking the necessary understanding and appreciation for the systems, how they operate, and what timeline they're going to take to implement, and the success that they're going to provide.
Clara, if it's not approved this evening, what are our options? In other words, is this the only game in town?
At this time, probably is the only game in town, in the sense that is required by us, by our agreement with Baykeeper, to have a ongoing maintained CMS system. Mainstar discontinued the support of the system last year, and they are not providing system maintenance and technical support if our system is not updated. That means that the city is pretty much on our own. Yes, you can use the system. The system was purchased by us, but Mainstar no longer provides, without update to web-based, technical support for the system itself.
To Mark and Dennis, come to the podium real quick. Whoever wants to take it, tell us the advantages of doing this now versus disadvantages of, if there are any, of waiting.
Is this on? Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. Just to start with a little brief history, for my division, the CMMS has become the heartbeat of our division. We used to do things before in an old-fashioned type of format. It wouldn't be possible to efficiently run the proactive and preventative maintenance of mains, laterals, and manholes, and the chemical root programs without it. We did some of that before, but it was all stacks of papers, and a lot of it was, well, there's 1,900 mainline segments. We've got to do several things to each segment. So we're all on, it's all being run through this system. In a sense, it's a memory. There's many different fingers or benefits to it, but it's basically running all the things that either it would have took one person or 12 people to remember, and it wouldn't be possible to go back and to efficiently run things the way we're doing now if we didn't have it. It provides information to field crews at their fingertips, which we never had before. Before we'd show up to a house, and unless the resident would tell us what happened, you know, if it's a standby call, we can't call back to the person at the yard to try to get some kind of a history. We have that now, and that history is important because we can kind of pull up and say, okay, well, what's the history for this one location? Did we get stuck in the line before? Is it something that we need to reassess? Because now we reassess things. Before it was, well, do we remember who had this call last time? So now it's one-stop shopping for all the information and historical information pertaining to that one location. That also helps out customer service. You know, it's not like we have to ask someone what happened. We know what happened. If we don't know what happened, or let's say we take a certain task to open up a line, well, if we don't have the information before, we can actually cause damage, and we can actually push fluid back into the house, and then therefore it becomes a damaged property. They provide, like I said, it provides one-stop shopping for management, such as cost totals and time, and then we use that for planning our budget. Before, it was more like, okay, we have this, we know what we're going to do, we did it last year, we know this is what's necessary for the next year, but it provides all of that backup now that was all scattered before. For the wastewater division, there's all of those benefits that we've now switched to that we never did before, and if we don't have that, then we're stepping backwards. And just like Clara said before, you notice AT&T, you walk by their trucks, they've got some kind of a system in the cars. The police department, they've got a system in the cars. PG&E, I mean, Comcast, there's information there, and basically, before it was write a piece of paper, bring it in, that gets put in a pile, that pile goes over there. Well, if someone asks me a question, now I can go on and I have an answer for it. Just had it, you know, and with the upgrade, the web-based, it's also going to help to merge with the GIS, so that if someone has a question, if someone calls me and says, well, you know, there's a sewer line and I want to know the setback, well, now I can pull up the map and I can check to see, okay, well, here's where it's at. I know where it's at. I have the information quickly. I don't have to wait to try to get this information or to ask some of the crew. So, in the essence of right now is where we're at. We're not in the past, we're in the future, and for me, and with Clara's recommendation, I believe that it's correct to keep going with what we've started.
All right, thanks. Anything to add, Mark? We see how anxious you are.
It's a fairly new system to me. I see the benefits with the GIS. So if we have someone out there and we have the GIS there, we have this asset management system, and say we have a leak somewhere in our system, we can actually go to the GIS, and with the technology, we can actually say, okay, we got these certain people out there, we can send them to that area, and that those leaks and the fire hydrant flushing program, all the programs that we have out there can be put in this asset management system. And at the end, we can, you know, evaluate it and then have a nice comprehensive budget set up through this system. That's where I see the benefits.
Thank you.
And what you said.
And what he said.
So with, you asked, Mr. Mayor, you asked the question about timing. So if it's versus now, November, the end of November versus January, when all of this system and the CMS in its whole, I'll say, is looked at, we're talking 2 months. So is that a problem?
I don't think from a practical point of view is a big difference if this will be approved today or January. I am just certainly, I will not have any more information in January than now. That's my only challenge, that I gave you a very comprehensive presentation a month ago. I gave you those reports. All of us are here today to give you all of the information what any of us has and you need. I am just challenged by the expectation of what additional information I could provide you in January, and I don't see that. But from a poor timeliness point of view, I really don't think that approving today or in January would take us back on this project.
Any other, Connie?
Mr. Mayor, if I might, it may be helpful to seek some clarification about the council's expectation for the discussion that we have planned for January about the work program for the coming year. It wasn't staff's recommendation or expectation that we would be undertaking a specific detailed review of the CMMS system in particular, but rather an opportunity to flesh out the work program for the year, identify those priorities, and to give the opportunity for the City Council to provide any additional discussion, questions, or guidance regarding those items that will receive attention over the year. So again, as the director indicated, if there's something in particular that we could additionally provide to the City Council, we're certainly happy to develop that. The detailed information that we provided in October represents a comprehensive review of the investment that the city has already made in the CMMS system, as well as our, at least near term, based on what we know about the costs and the utility of the CMMS system has been provided. So we can certainly review that and or take any additional comments or direction from the City Council about if you should choose to push this to January, where, again, as the director said, there is just the 2 months of additional time, but we're certainly happy to defer or to proceed, whichever is the council's interest.
Yeah, I can truly appreciate what my colleague wants to learn from it, but I'm from staff when they're saying that there's not much more to present. I'm fully aware of what we should do, as far as reviewing capital projects. Not that $45,000 isn't a major investment, but the larger projects, the construction projects, the infrastructure projects that we need to look at closer in January. This, I think, is a tool that has been proven by one department, and now we've got an anxious department that wants to take advantage of it also. We've got an investment in it, and in short of calling up the real techie up to give me more confidence in improving this, I'm ready to vote to approve it.
Just speaking for myself, the sooner we can get efficiencies on board, the better off we are, especially when we're talking, spending people's water and sewer rates. I think the sooner the better. And given the understanding that we're not going to get a whole lot more information in a couple of months, I certainly want to avoid any types of issues regarding water and sewer. So would Action by the council.
I'll introduce the resolution.
Vice Mayor O'Connell,
Aye.
Councilmember Medina,
No.
Councilmember Rivera,
Aye.
Mayor Nguyen.
Aye. Item 10B, adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an amendment to the interlocal agreement with the City of South San Francisco for the addition of sewer line video inspection services.
I am the highlight tonight. This second item is one other tool managing our sewer system, specifically in this case. This is a inspection tool which help us to make a determination what is the best action for any problem in our sewer system. At the last city council, staff presented, recommended, and you approved to award a contract to a private contractor, Proven Management, to perform these on-call services for the city. At the last meeting, you requested staff to seek out opportunities how other agencies around us could help us providing this service also. This action is a response to your request at the last council meeting, and what you have before you tonight is an amendment of our service agreement with South City to include in that agreement support for video inspection for our city. In 2009, the city entered in an agreement with South San Francisco to help us with traffic signal maintenance. And since then, they are doing saving us money and doing a very high quality job providing that service to us. And this agreement would enable them to provide video inspection for our sewer service when their resources are available. They were not able to make a full commitment that their resources will be all the time available, but when their resources will be available, they will provide this video inspection on-call services for us. The service manager will make that determination on ongoing basis. When this needs to be done, then he will consider call South City if South City resources are available to help us, and also our own crew is available to work with them for the video inspection. Then South City will help us. If this is not the case, then as an alternative, he will call the private contractor and they will provide these services for us. My recommendation is for you to amend our agreement with South City.
Okay. Any questions of staff?
Mr. Mayor, I was just a little confused that we just recently approved a contract with the private company, and whether that, how committed we were to using them. And so I've learned that we have the option of selecting between the private company or services from South San Francisco, depending on the situation. So I'm satisfied with that.
You are absolutely correct, Council Member.
Through the chair. And I appreciate the staff going back. I know my understanding at the last meeting, there was already conversation with the South City, and they were about the same. If I'm not mistaken, the private company charged a minimum of 4 hours for when we call them out.
You are correct.
And what is that rate? An hour?
They have different rate for different type of sewer line. They have the lowest rate is $2,300 for a smaller sewer line. That's is the lowest rate, but that is not exactly the same. Like when the private contractor is coming out to provide that service, they are doing the cleaning and the video inspection. Our agreement with South City is a little bit different in the sense that our crew has to be on site also in the same time, and our crew will provide bypass equipment and also will clean, and South City with the video just will inspect the line. That is not exactly the same service.
So what this gives staff another opportunity and tool in which to utilize a private company, or now, which we didn't have 2 weeks ago, South San Francisco, and depending on what the better cost savings may be or the staffing element.
You are absolutely right, Council Member.
Thank you.
Anything else or action by the council?
I'll introduce the resolution.
Councilmember O'Meara.
Aye.
Vice Mayor O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Mayor Lewin.
Aye. Item number 11, reports of commissions, boards, and committees. There are none this evening. I know I speak for the entire council, and I wish everyone a very, very happy Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for. Irene?
I have a comment. I was driving on Angus this evening and noticed that there's graffiti on the southeast side of the grade separation, and it wasn't there this morning, so it was sometime this afternoon. Which brings up the question, do we have an agreement with Caltrans to take care of the graffiti ourselves, or do we need to get them to do it ever after this is all completed, or have we reached that point yet?
So I'm going to ask the director to come back, but the responsibility for maintaining the job site and the graffiti now that the structure is still under construction rests with Caltrain. And I'll ask the director to respond going forward.
The city manager is correct, and typically they are taking care of those graffiti in a very, very short time. I noted your request, and tomorrow morning will be passed on to the contractor, and they will take action.
Okay, thank you.
For going forward, after the construction, the structure itself still will be their responsibility, the structure itself.
Okay, have we talked to them about how important it is to get the graffiti taken care of right away?
Yes, and also they spent reasonable time discussing also what kind of preventive measures they can incorporate in the project itself to minimize the graffiti, and they are using graffiti-resistant surfaces and finish also, which will minimize, hopefully, the graffiti later on. But yes, I think this was an ongoing focus during our discussion.
Okay, thank you. I just know that once there's one tag, somebody else tags it, and it gets to be a big mess.
Through the chair. I'd like to see, after the holidays, January, reach out to, this is a suggestion, reach out to the entire San Bruno School Board, have a joint meeting in a study session environment, not televised or formal. And we can certainly, I'd like to get hashed out the master use agreement. We can certainly tell them about the centennial celebration. And I'm sure they have some items. I'd like us to get on the same page on some things and just discuss the city that we both serve and represent.
Mr. Mayor, along those lines, and I think it's appropriate since we won't be meeting again until the first of the year, I'd like to take a page out of the city of Millbrae and propose that we have an event that brings organizations, community organizations together and submits their annual calendar so that we can have as advance notice of what certain organizations may be doing throughout the year. They can know what we have planned or are assuming to be planned throughout the year, and especially with the centennial celebration. So I believe something maybe in January, just a continental breakfast deal or something that can invite some of the stakeholders that can participate, hosted by the mayor.
Whatever you want me to do. Okay, anything else? We are going into closed session. The first item is conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, agency designated representatives, the city manager and human resources director, employee organizations, miscellaneous bargaining unit, and police bargaining unit. Then we have a conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956D2, one case. And I believe city manager, we have a third item, which I don't have in front of me exactly. Or can you tell us, Carol?
Yes, let me open it for you. It's right in front of me, excuse me. I didn't put it in there. Do you have yours? Okay, you're going to be going into closed session for conference with real property negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8, Property 105 Cabrillo Way, San Bruno, agency negotiator, city manager, negotiating parties, City of San Bruno, under negotiation, price and terms of payment, with
Thank you
no
very much.
reportable action.
Okay, city manager?
Mr. Mayor, you may be already planning to do this, but I just want to note the agenda indicates the next regular meeting will be on December 10th. However, we do have a special meeting on December 3rd.
Right. We do have a special meeting on December 3rd where we're going to swear the re-elected city officials in. We look forward to that. It'll be at 7:30 on December the 3rd. We will have some refreshments if that's why you want to come. But we look forward to having everybody in the community here. We look forward to serving you again and look forward to the 3rd. Also, the next regular city council meeting will be held on December 10th, 2013 at 7 p.m. right here at the Senior Center. And once again, a very happy Thanksgiving to all. Meeting adjourned.